What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Redacted Cartel. Redacted is a recently launched ohm fork. Now there have been a lot of Olympus forks over the last 6 months and the vast majority of them didn't have much to offer beyond copying and pasting Olympus's code. Now there have been a lot of Olympus forks over the past 6 months and the vast majority of them didn't really have much to offer. They just jumped on the trend of huge APYs to attract users, and seeing the success of Ohm, crypto degens jumped right in and it became a battle for attention between protocols with nothing unique to offer buyers. But unlike most Ohm forks, Redacted didn't just copy pasta Olympus DAO's protocol without having a real plan. And in this video, I'm going to be covering exactly what Redacted is doing, why it's special, and how I discovered the butterfly cult. I mean token. Let's do this. I first heard about Redacted from some of the OG Ohmies on Twitter and Discord a few months back. Now in this game it pays to be first, so whenever I hear about a new protocol I tend to jump straight into the Discord as well as any docs they have. And in this case, I jumped into the Discord on pretty much the first day it launched. And seeing that the team was looking for people to help out, I was quick to put my hat in the ring and offered to help in any way possible, given my skill set. A couple of days later, Sammy, the founder of Redacted, saw my message and DM'd me to ask if I would lend a hand with their Git book. Now, let me be very clear here, there was no payment for this, no tokens or anything, so if you're jumping into DAOs expecting to be paid, don't do that. But what it did give me was worth a lot more. I got the opportunity to dig into their docs firsthand and see that this team was dead serious about what they were trying to build. There are a lot of rug pulls in this space, so getting involved with the DAO at the start of a project gives you a big opportunity to vet the team firsthand. I've come very close to being rugged, but fortunately I've not been so far. Touch wood. But I have come close to having rug pulled out from under me, and seeing the effort that Sammy and his team were putting into the launch of Redacted gave me the confidence to allocate more time to research it. The fact that the team was doxed, the fact that they weren't in a rush to launch, it became clear that this wasn't just a smash and grab. They really took their time to develop a working protocol and build a killer brand before launching. At the end of the day, what we're looking for in great projects is great teams. And great teams are the ones that are in it for the long haul and are going to keep building. If anything, it's a red flag for me when a protocol launches too quickly after first coming onto the scene, because how can they possibly have had any time to build anything of value? And there are so many opportunities in this space right now and your attention is limited. So figuring out early on in the life of a project whether or not you should continue to research it and allocate your time to it is vital to the success of your investing. So figuring out early on in the life of a project whether or not you should continue to research it and allocate time or capital is really important. Anyway, that explains how and why I decided to buy some Butterfly, but what exactly is Redacted doing? You know, I consider myself an intelligent person, but even I struggle at times to fully grasp how clever these strategies are, and that's why I've fallen in love with this space of late. Redacted has to be one of the most giga-brained moves I've come across so far. It's such a simple and beautiful approach to printing money. Just before I cover how it works, please do me a favor and smash that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Redacted is using Ohm tokenomics to accumulate as many Curve ecosystem tokens as possible into their treasury. In short, their goal is to accumulate as much liquidity as possible from the Curve ecosystem in order to have a majority say over the Curve gauge. To understand why they would do this, we first need to know a bit more about Curve. Curve is a decentralized exchange designed to provide the best possible rates for users who are trading stablecoins. It uses liquidity pools to make trading more efficient, and every time someone makes a trade on Curve, the liquidity providers get a small fee. Some liquidity pools are also supplied to lending protocols, which means liquidity providers earn extra interest on top of these trading fees. Now, just like most decentralized finance protocols, Curve has its own native token, CRV. The purpose of CRV is to incentivize liquidity providers on the Curve finance platform. CRV can be staked to receive trading fees from the Curve protocol and boost rewards on provided liquidity. But in order to vote on rewards, you must first lock your CRV into a staking pool to receive VECRV. Votes and rewards are weighed by both the number of tokens and the duration for which the tokens are time locked. The longer the lockup period, the greater the voting power and the larger the rewards. Users can lock CRV for a minimum of a week and up to 4 years. And the longer the CRV is locked, the bigger the boost in rewards, up to 2.5x. Which means that users receive more VECRV, that's vote escrow CRV, which aligns long-term stakeholders with the protocol's success. So why would a user want to give their CRV to Redacted? Well, the benefit to the user is that they receive Redacted's native token Butterfly, which is liquid. This is important because token holders are required to lock CRV for VECRV, which acts as the illiquid access token to the governance mechanism, and most users might not want to lock their CRV tokens as they may need the liquidity. Redacted incentivizes bonding tokens from the Curve ecosystem into their treasury in exchange for the Butterfly token. And each Butterfly token is backed by value from the Curve ecosystem locked in the DAO treasury. So users are receiving a maximized yield and are in possession of a liquid token that is securely backed by stable assets. Because Butterfly is primarily backed by the stablecoin LP tokens, which remain relatively stable regardless of the market dynamics. Redacted, on the other hand, doesn't need liquidity, so they can lock the tokens to maximize the yield. So the benefit to Redacted is that they accumulate voting power over Curve, which they can then apply to their own benefit by voting in favor of boosting rewards to liquidity pools that align with the interests of the Redacted cartel. Of course, this has a flywheel effect as Redacted receives more rewards in the form of CRV, which they can then lock to receive the ECRV, which grants them increasing voting power over the Curve gauge. Pretty ingenious if you ask me. But what the hell is the Curve gauge? On Curve Finance, the inflation that's newly minted CRV rewards are going to users who provide liquidity. This usage is measured with gauges. The liquidity gauge measures how much a user is providing in liquidity. Now, obviously, CRV is pretty valuable to anyone wanting to control the Curve gauge. A huge number of DeFi apps use Curve to source liquidity and yield. And oftentimes other protocols will offer bribes in their own native currency to encourage Curve holders to vote for their liquidity pools. In fact, recognizing the importance of the Curve gauge to the success of different protocols, Yearn Finance released a tool called bribe.crv.finance that allows DeFi projects to bribe VECRV holders with token rewards in exchange for their votes. This means that Redacted, as one of the largest CRV holders, can earn bribes in the form of other tokens, whilst also earning more CRV. So when I say it's unlike most ohm forks, that's because it actually makes money. And it makes a heck of a lot of money. At inception, the treasury took in $73 million, and as of this filming, the treasury is already worth a whopping $151 million. Now, a large part of this is the result of increases in the prices of the underlying treasury assets as well as bonding. But the treasury is also making a killing by putting its assets to work. The last reported earnings figure from December suggests that the treasury is making $35,000 a day in CRV rewards alone. That's over $12 million a year, and that's just getting started. Hopefully that explains what Redacted does and why it's so cool. If I missed anything important or didn't explain anything well enough, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Now, how about how much money I made? Redacted's treasury bootstrapping event, aka Operation Swallowtail, involved a Dutch auction, which is about as fair as a launch as you can get, so kudos to Sammy for running things this way. The auction had a starting price of $5,000 and an ending price of $50, with the price decreasing linearly over a 48-hour period. There was a fixed amount of 100,000 butterfly available across 3 bonding pools, one each for OHM, CRV and CVX. If you wanted to participate, all you had to do was commit to buying at any given price before the auction ended. You see, in a Dutch auction, the final price is only settled upon once all of the tokens have been sold. So individual participants decide at which point they're happy with a token price and commit their funds. Yet the auction continues until everyone is happy with the token price. And ultimately, every buyer gets the cheapest possible token. And this is also great because the treasury price is determined by the price of the underlying. So the value of the treasury would have been 1-1 with the issued tokens, apart from dilution from seed investors and team, but that's something you don't really need to worry about on the launch of this token because they would have all had vesting schedules. The final price was $733 per butterfly token as a weighted average across the 3 bonded tokens. Today's price is about $1,300 and I put in just under $11,000. Of course, this is an OHM fork, so over the last month I've been enjoying rebase rewards, which has increased the number of butterfly tokens I hold almost 2-fold. Today, the butterfly index stands at 1.94, which means my initial investment is now worth about $37,000, making me a profit of $26,000 in a little under a month, which is pretty damn good if you ask me, and almost makes up for the beating my OHM has taken this past week. Having said that, this is crypto, so I could easily be back to $11,000 or less in a matter of days, and the liquidity for the butterfly token isn't great right now, so anytime you get a big seller, the price really takes a beating. At one point I was up almost $100,000 in paper gains, and I chose not to sell because I figured I'm investing in this for the long haul. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not so sure that's the right attitude, and I do think I could improve my returns if I could maintain this opposing mind of trader and investor. There's certainly something to be said of selling something that's up 10x in a week, because chances are you'll get the opportunity to buy it back cheaper. But then again, managing these conflicting mindsets of trader and investor can be challenging, especially when it's not your full-time job. I guess what I'm trying to say to you is that we should always reflect on the actions that we take and learn and improve. And even if you are invested in something long-term, it's okay to take profit when it makes a big move in a short space of time. So when you're looking at buying any asset, you should be asking yourself what time frame you're expecting to be in it for and what your price target is. That's me done with the wishy-washy investing philosophy, and that sums up everything you need to know about Redacted Cartel and Butterfly, as well as how much I've made so far. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. That's a wrap.